Hey guys, today I'm going to be walking you through how I make some few dark melodies using some of Ableton's scale devices. If you don't know what Ableton scales devices are or where they can be found in the MIDI effects and in the scale section. And these are some of the scales that come with Ableton Suite. So basically, what this device does, it allows you to lock every note of a MIDI phrase from the keyboard or whatever controller you are using to a certain scale or key. So it'll make every single key of the keyboard to be able to only play whatever scale you choose. So basically, it keeps everything in key, so to speak. So to get it started, I'm gonna delete this melody I made. So right now, I have some of the scales that are my favorite that I like to use. Let me just turn some of these things off. All right. So basically, I have a VST in here, the warm natural piano from Expand, and I'm gonna delete this pattern. We're gonna recreate it again. So basically, we're gonna insert a MIDI clip. And for this piece, I'm going to be using the, as I mentioned before, the Lydian mode. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. My key is set to C. Okay, I'm going to get this out of here. And then I'm going to go ahead and program these notes. Let's see what we got. Sounds pretty good. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add a little velocity. So what velocity does is allow you to sort of add random velocity changes in the MIDI notes. So you can find this in the MIDI effects under velocity. I usually choose add some random, and I'm gonna turn it on. Then I sometimes adjust the volume, but I keep it at 100. and then I just leave everything pretty much the same. So what it does is adds changes in the velocity of the notes. So now it doesn't sound as stiff. All right. So next, what I like to do is, let me just backtrack real quick. So if I turn this device off, you'll see how it sounds without the scale device on. So it sounds out of key once I turn it back on. All right. Next, I like to add a little halftime. So I'm gonna add halftime to sort of stretch the audio. Usually I use the 2-bar settings. And then I like to turn down the mix just a little bit so I can add some of the original piece in. Then I like to add a little RC20. If you haven't heard of Retro Color, it's probably one of the greatest plugins that I've ever used to add like character to beats that you make. It's very easy to use. Gives you a whole bunch of presets. And usually I just mess around with the knobs until I found something I like, a sound that I like, basically. So I like to have a little noise in the beat. And I add a little wobble, which adds like sort of like a tape delay kind of thing, like a pitch bend sort of. And then I'll add some reverb. I use Ableton stock reverb. I just hit the low cut and just adjust the decay time and the dry and wetness. Then I like to add a little chorus. Yeah, and that's pretty much how I make some of my dark melodies in Ableton Live. The scale devices are pretty cool tools, easy to use. You can try this with the various other scales that you see in there, see what kind of cool sounds you come up with. I have some other melodies that I pre-made already that I can guys show you how some of these sound. I believe this is harmonic minor scale, so I'm gonna play it dry and you can see how it sounds. Sorry. I'm gonna just turn it on. I'm gonna add some velocity changes. And then I'm gonna add halftime. And some of the retro color, turn the reverb, where I'm just turning all effects on. So it sounds pretty good. And then I have, I believe this is Phrygian mode, but we can always check. Yep, that is correct. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. So this is how it sounds without the MIDI effect tool. I'm sorry, let me turn some of the effects off. Yeah, it sounds really bad. I'm gonna turn this on. And add some velocity changes. Add some halftime. some retro color. I'm gonna just turn all the effects back on. Yeah, so this is pretty cool. And yeah, that's how I go about making some of my dark melodies. If you don't have these scale devices, you can still achieve the same thing. Sometimes I just Google like the scale that you want to work with, and then you can just sort of like leave this open here and insert your MIDI clip, and then we're just gonna turn this off. Let's see. Actually, you lose Lydian mode because that's what I use for that one. And what I like to do, if there's a scale that I don't have in Ableton, I'll just create this C, D, E. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this, shift up, and then I'm gonna put it right on top of this note here and create that. And then I'm gonna just copy all of this, duplicate it, shift up. I'm gonna do the same to shift down. All right, so now I've created sort of a scale. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit the fold option in Ableton Live, and then I'm going to just move these notes over here and go here and start drawing in our melody. So let me turn it off halftime. So the scale device is off. So to sort of check if we're in the correct scale, I'm gonna turn it back on and it should play the same way. So basically, this is sort of like a workaround if you don't have scale devices in Ableton Live. You can just look up the scale on Google and then fill in your marker notes here and then shift them over to the left. And then you can sort of program your notes in like that. And then you can still achieve the same effect. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this was informative. And if you have any suggestions for any other tutorials, please let me know.